Gamers in Australia have broken the Monopoly world record. The police have an unusual request. Come down to the station, get high, and get tested. And lastly, hacked pedestrian crossings are playing fake messages from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast. We're going it. It's weird. Scatterattle-do. Gamers in Australia have broken the world record for Monopoly. A total of 918 people sat down at 150 tables to simultaneously play the game Monopoly in order to break a Guinness World Record, and they did so. This record attempt in Sydney was organized by the Little Legs Foundation. Little Legs Foundation? Is it just a bunch of tiny spiders that run this? It's a charity that raises funds and awareness for children with brain cancer. Oh, so sorry. It's not funny at all. It's for raising awareness for brain cancer. Here's a quote from Sue. She says, "We really wanted to create a space that allowed for both young and old to come together, celebrate my daughter, who died of brain cancer, and accomplish something that everyone would be proud of, all while raising awareness for the disease that took my daughter." Well, this is a nice feel-good story for once on Weird AF News, right? Usually we're just covering degenerate behavior. Here's a community of people that got together, they broke a Guinness World Record, and they raised money for a good cause. And it has a personal tie with them in the community, being that this woman is part of the community. The attempt was actually the second organized by the Little Legs Foundation after a previous attempt for the most people playing Monopoly actually fell 30 people short of the previous record. It doesn't say when they attempted that. It's surprising to learn that the record is only 918 people playing Monopoly simultaneously. You would think it would be more than that, considering, the world record for people gathering named Andrew is it's like in the thousands, right? And, they probably had thousands of people get together to play Frisbee. And then you got only 918 is the record for Monopoly. I guess it's just because Monopoly is it not popular anymore? I suppose it's not. The kids, they're just on to digital gaming these days, so it's hard to get them to go back to, I guess you'd call it primitive, low-definition gaming systems. And given the fact that you have to actually gather to do it, physical space, that's a barrier too. I personally have always enjoyed Monopoly. It wasn't my favorite game as a child, but it was up there. My favorite game was Pictionary, because I like to draw. I wasn't very good at it, but I like to draw. That was always my favorite. You guys ever play Pictionary? That's such a fun family game. I haven't played in decades, but I wish I could come across a Pictionary party. Do they even have these anymore? I would be so thrilled to play some Pictionary with some friends. Or, we don't even have to be friends. I'll play Pictionary with strangers, with inmates. All right, this story's petering out, obviously. So to beef it up, I thought I would look up weird facts about Monopoly. Here's some things we can learn. Number one, people think that this game was invented by a man named Charles Darrow. Actually, not true. Darrow stole the game idea from a woman. Did you know that? Well, I didn't check the sources here, but this is what the website says. The game idea was stolen from a woman named Elizabeth Maggie. She called it the landlord's game. She came up with the idea in 1903 as a way to protest against the monopolists of her time. But despite self-circulating the game for a while, it never really fully caught on until Darrow claimed it as his own and took a version of it to Parker Brothers, who originally rejected the game. That's fun fact number 3. They said there were fundamental errors with the game, including details about the theme, length, and overall complexity. But after it proved successful in some local Philadelphia stores, they changed their mind in 1935, and it went for mass production. Another weird fact is properties on the board are named after real Atlantic City locations. How about that? According to rumors, the Monopoly Man was modeled after J.P. Morgan, who at the time was a very influential man in the U.S. He helped found the United States Steel Corporation. Another fact, when the game first hit the market, it cost only $2. How about that? Can't get anything for $2 now, not even a single egg. Now, today, the average Monopoly game costs $18, and there are collector's editions circulating that could be worth upwards of $500. There's a legend that speaks of a gem-encrusted game created by a San Francisco jeweler in the 80s, and the value of that is $2 million. Another fun fact, weird fact, the longest game ever played lasted 70 straight days. 70 straight days. That's more than 2 months. In 2008, a group of people gathered worldwide to attempt to set another record for most people playing the game simultaneously. It took place in 22 cities with 500 people in London. Well, this article must be a little bit outdated because that has just been broken. Another weird fact, the most common square you'll land on is Illinois Avenue. I guess some nerds figured that out. Today, Monopoly is published in a total of 47 languages. How about that? And the game also helped prisoners of war escape during World War II. Didn't know about that. If you want to win, you should skip buying hotels, is another weird fact. According to a 24-year-old, Natalie, she's the UK and Ireland Monopoly champion. She explains that once you've reached 3 houses, the amount that the rent increases with each house actually maxes out. If you want to be extra sneaky, stay on 4 houses and prevent people from buying houses later in the game once you've used them all up. I guess because there's only a certain number of houses. Oh, I see what she's doing. That's why she's the champ. Another weird fact, more than 1 billion people have played Monopoly worldwide. Hey, and that's the end of that. And now I'm going to read you some very weird Monopoly editions that I went and found, because I've seen a bunch of editions. They have a Boston version, which I don't own, but looked pretty cool. Okay, here's some weird Monopoly editions. Breaking Bad. That's based on the TV show. Monopoly Love Actually edition. I believe that's a romance movie from the 90s or maybe early 2000s. You wouldn't think that would have a version, but it does. Okay, here's some more. Bass Fishing edition. Hilarious. There's a photo of this. Oh, my. The bass fishing one looks really funny. Okay, we also have Monopoly SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, for the kids. And then we have Monopoly Queen Elizabeth edition. All right. Okay. And then what might be considered the strangest Monopoly edition is Monopoly D-Day. Yeah, Monopoly D-Day actually exists. It's a real edition of the board game. And D-Day is an important historical event in which Allied troops first stepped onto the shores of Normandy, France, in the hopes of helping to defend the country against an aggressive invasion by Nazi Germany during World War II. So naturally, you should have a Monopoly edition for that. Seems very odd, but okay. Now, lastly, this is weird and important information. You can actually submit Monopoly theme ideas directly to Hasbro, the company that owns the Monopoly trademark. Hasbro has a submission platform called Hasbro Spark, where you can share your ideas. They also accept submissions for specific local Monopoly editions, such as the Boston version. So if you want to do that, go to the Hasbro's website and you can submit your idea. I think that's pretty cool. Wouldn't it be great to see like a Weird AF News Monopoly version? I think I might go on there and submit that. The police would like you to consider volunteering to get high in front of them so they can test you and who knows what else. This story's out of Seattle, Washington. The unusual request from the local police to the citizens. Do you like to get high? Well, come on down to the station. Get high. Get tested. The article says, as the saying goes, there's a first time for everything. This is the first time we've seen this announcement. The SPD training unit, I guess that's Seattle Police Department training unit, is going to be hosting a DUI Green Lab on Friday, May 9th. So that's in a few weekends from now. They're looking for some volunteers to consume marijuana and allow the police to practice some standard field sobriety tests on the subjects. Well, this is a trap if I've ever seen one. This is the government finding creative ways to deport us. One moment you're smoking up at the police station, laughing, eating snacks. Next thing you know, you're in a prison in El Salvador. So I don't recommend this one. Not today, CIA. I mean, I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb. Now, according to their bulletin there, they say, this is a great opportunity for officers to learn from consumers in a controlled environment and for the volunteers to learn about their own tolerances and learn about the testing process for DUIs. I think we've learned about our own tolerances over the years. All right, so are you going to pay the people and give free marijuana. It says volunteers will consume marijuana in whatever form they prefer, edibles, vapes, smoking, etc., and will be paired up with an officer in the class. The officer will observe how the volunteer's impairment changes over time, and the officer will run some basic tests on the volunteer to simulate DUI testing. The volunteers should arrive at 9 a.m. Well, you don't know the schedule of stoners, obviously. That's a little early. We asked the volunteers to provide their own product with receipts if possible. They don't even give you free weed, man. You got to bring your own. It says they will provide lunch and snacks. You should provide the substance as well. You're not paying anybody. I don't think you understand how this works, police department. People that enjoy marijuana on a regular, recreationally, do not enjoy being around the police. So you need to offer something, some incentive. There's not a lot of drug users out there that are like, helping the police, man? Oh, yeah. Count me in, man. I mean, it's almost as though the police don't get psychology 101 or drug culture 101, which you should get if you're a police officer. They're just still out of touch. You know, the organization that should be in touch and know what's going on in that community has no clue. So this is a barrier to problem solving when it comes to these things. Yeah. I just watched Serpico. Have you seen that movie? It's a Sidney Lumet movie. It's great. It stars Al Pacino, very young Al Pacino. There's a scene in there where the police department in New York City, they want to become familiar with cannabis, so they're passing it around. And they're passing it around, and they want everyone to understand the effects of it, so the officers are lighting up, smoking it, passing it around the police station. Very funny scene. And I highly recommend watching that movie. It's good for a rewatch as well. It's fabulous. And based on a true story about a cop who really disclosed some nefarious goings-on in New York police. Now, let me round up this story about volunteering to get high with the police. It says they ask volunteers, please don't drive to or from the training. They can provide transportation if necessary. You should offer to pick people up at their house with a trunk full of Doritos and marijuana and bring them there. Anyways, if you're interested in volunteering, you live in the area, text 206-471-2849. Okay, at the bottom of the article, it says, update, the volunteer spots are all full. Thank you, West Seattle. Oh, so they filled the spots this quickly? This many people would just want to get high around the police on your own supply? I just find that so strange. I mean, getting high with the police is like the ultimate buzzkill. It's like a waste of weed. You might as well just flush it down the toilet at that point. Captain Buzzkill. However, you know, it could be good practice, I guess, if you want to get comfortable being high around the police because you anticipate you might be high a lot in the world and you may get pulled over, you may get questioned by the police. This is good practice, I suppose. Could be helpful at house parties. The police come knock on the door. Hey, man, the cops are outside. Who's going to talk to him, man? I can't. I'm so high, man. Like, hey, man, I can talk to the police, man. Do you guys remember I went to that volunteer event at the police station where I got high and hung out with them? I got this.
Hey, Todd, Daddy, how you doing?
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hacked pedestrian crossings are playing fake messages from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Pedestrian crossings in several areas of Northern California have been hacked with fake greetings mocking the tech billionaires such as Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos. Officials in Silicon Valley are investigating and have disabled this audio feature on the crossings, which usually plays instructions such as walk or wait. I think that was a perfect impression of those voices if you've ever had that experience. The surprise messages were noticed over the weekend in Palo Alto, Redwood City, and Menlo Park, which is home to Zuckerberg's sprawling Meta campus. Subsequent social media videos that were shared showing the crosswalk buttons playing these audio messages that make fun of these billionaires. Went a tad bit viral, and now several crosswalk buttons have been hacked across Seattle as well, according to officials. Spreading. Please come to Los Angeles. Although no one really walks in LA. Do you know that? Walking in LA. Nobody walks in LA. Nobody walks in LA. Okay, back to the story here. I'm curious to see what some of these messages are. I assume it's Elon Musk asking any ladies want to get prego, or please buy my cars, please buy my cars. And I don't know who did this, but not all heroes wear capes. This is an amazing move here. I love when billionaires get trolled. I don't enjoy when billionaires die in submarines. Some people have expressed that in the past year. I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to say I love when you cyber troll billionaires. Okay, I'm now going to play a few of the clips for you to hear.
It's funny, I used to think he was just this dumb sack of shit, but when you get to know him, he's actually really sweet and tender and loving. Sweetie, come back to bed. Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos. This crosswalk is sponsored by Amazon Prime with an important message. Please don't tax the rich, otherwise all the other billionaires will move to Florida too. Wait. Hi, this is Elon Musk. Welcome to Palo Alto, the home of Tesla engineering. They say money can't buy happiness, and yeah, okay. I guess that's true. God knows I've tried. But it can buy a Cybertruck, and that's pretty sick, right?
Now, it's unclear who created these messages or how they ended up being played from these crosswalks, but city officials are urging people to report hacked crosswalks to them. There's online forms and phone numbers. I don't know who's going to report these. It's ridiculous. They're hilarious. We want more of these, don't we? Don't we want more of these? I want more of these anyways because it's funny, and I'm all about funny. I'd like to see an expansion program of this. I want politicians. I want to hear politicians in the city that they represent. This is a fun use of technology. It's a double-edged sword. Technology is used for terrible things, and then it's used for hilarious things like this. And then for the rest of it, it's pretty much pornography. I listen to weird AF news. It's free.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit Shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
Oh, yeah, I do like them French fried taters. Yeah, thank you for listening to Weird AF News with me. Yeah, listen to my podcast. I got them. You got them new headphones there. Yeah, get them at the dollar store. Very good. Yeah, put them in my ears. Feel good. I like to listen to Weird AF News when I'm walking through a swamp. Yeah, yeah, trying to make friends with the toads. Yeah, it's good. Hi everybody, this is your buddy Jonesy. Just doing some impressions here. They're like average. They're not. Some people think I do great impressions though, such as our friend Ellis Williams, who's in the music industry and knows a bit about Cypress Hill. Ellis wrote me a message. Good morning, Jonesy. You finished yesterday's episode 415, and all I have to say is this: Cypress Hill, Cypress Hill, you the man. If I was ever the mayor of my own hood, you would have full access to all cookouts, effective immediately. Don't you ever change. Best regards, Ellis Williams. I think Ellis is referring to my little Cypress Hill impression the other day. So, yeah, it's pretty good. And occasionally I'll go to karaoke and I'll do Insane in the Membrane, and people's heads will spin. I've actually won karaoke contests before doing such things. So, yeah, I got some skills when it comes to that. A lot of fun. And I'm a fan of Cypress Hill. I had the Black Sunday CD like everybody else and, played the crapola out of that while, ingesting wonderful, stinky green stuff. As you do when you listen to Black Sunday. All right, now I want to read some reviews that I got on a podcast platform that I didn't really know existed. It's called Castbox. For some reason, I was doing a little search for Weird AF News, because I wanted to see how many episodes I was at, and because I'm coming upon 2,000, but I'm not quite sure. And each platform has a different number. For this Castbox, it says I'm at 1971 episodes, but there's other ones where I'm at like 1980 something, and there's a couple where I'm in the 1990s. So I'm somewhere around 2,000, but there doesn't seem to be any agreement. Anyways, while I was on this website, I noticed there's reviews on here, and I never seen these before because I never went to this site, and the people who've left these reviews didn't let me know. I told you, if you leave me a review on some weird ass site that no one knows about, like Castbox, like send me an email and I'll read it. Kelsey Cornelius wrote, Jonesy does not disappoint and always comes prepared to soothe and surprise your ear holes with wildly entertaining, random, albeit sometimes useless knowledge niblets. I mean, who doesn't love a good conversation starter? A miserable F, that's who. I mean, that's a great review, and I would have never seen this. Kelsey's got a way with words. Francisco Alexander Sanchez Vasquez wrote, for recording in a closet, this podcast is fire. Rodney Claudia wrote, hey, Jonesy, love the show and the weird stuff that you report about that I actually believe happens on planet Earth. Keep doing what you're doing in the closet. By the way, pass some herb my way. Always to the left. Always to the left. LOL. Sincerely, Rodney Laws. That's an amazing review. I would have seen that. Carla Ingle wrote, I'm so glad I came across your podcast. I love it. Look forward to listening every week. Totally entertaining and interesting. Keep up the good work. So I say all this to say there are platforms where people are writing reviews, but I don't see them. So please email me your review. I want to give you credit. I want to give you some love on the show. Don't you want to hear your name said and get some love? Maybe people don't care about that stuff. Anyways, I appreciate any reviews I get, good or bad. I read the good and the bad. I read the good, I read the bad. And so if you want to leave me a review, there's places that I routinely go to search, which is Amazon and Apple Podcasts. And on Spotify, you can give me like a stars, 5 stars, or a thumbs up. I can't remember which. I should probably figure that out. But anyways, those are the platforms I routinely check to see my ratings. But if you leave one on a different one, I'm not going to see it. So please email me that. funnyjones@gmail.com. Oh, I had to pause the recording while I burped. Could you hear that one building up as I was trying to talk? That happens, when you talk a lot in a closet, eventually burps build up. But I got reprimanded by Michael from Iowa City because one time I let a burp slip through the recording, and he told me how gross it was and disgusting. And so ever since then, I've been very mindful of that. Shout out to Michael from Iowa City for keeping me in line. He's like my second dad. Anyways, okay, so I'm rambling here. There's important information that you need to know, which is tomorrow is Friday, so we're only going to do, I say we, it's me. I'm only going to do weird news from Florida. As you know, Florida Friday, that's a thing we do on Weird AF News. So if you come across weird news from Florida, email me, funnyjones@gmail.com, or send them in my DMs at funnyjones so I get them. I want to get as many as possible so I can do the best Florida Friday episode that I can do. Now, if you want to support the show and you have more than just time on your hands, you have won the lottery somehow. You are actually benefiting from tariffs. I don't know how you would, but maybe you are. Do you want to give back to the community? You want to be a patron of the arts? Go to patreon.com/weirdafnews and join the Patreon, or go to weirdafnews.com. You can join the Patreon or buy me a coffee. And all of that is all of that, and that is done, and that is that.